The world of cinema has seen a multitude of changes, but for the most part, it has remained more stagnant over the past couple decades. The earliest form of cinema started off with a series of still pictures projected onto a sheet, changing every few seconds to tell a story. This style was very successful, but it would eventually evolve into a new form, moving pictures. The end of the 19th century marks the time moving picture films became more mainstream. Moving pictures originally had no audio due to the loud sounds the camera would make while filming. This was cleaned up with the addition of music to help create moods and themes within the narrative. Audio and music would combine a few decades later to create the basic format of movies we know today. Like mentioned earlier, the film industry evolves and creates better work as time moves on. We can see this transition of film in a new format that is getting more and more popular today: interactive movies. Netflix's Black Mirror Bandersnatch, B&B for short, is an interactive film that has impacted the film industry, and we can start seeing the next evolution in film. This brings me to my main point. Will interactive films become a successful genre in the film industry? Well, to start off, Black Mirror Bandersnatch is a Netflix film that allows the viewer to make crucial decisions in certain parts of the story. These choices made will affect the rest of the story. Some choices are very tame, like deciding on which cereal to eat.
How about you decide what you want for your breakfast?
But other choices are more serious, like deciding whether to kill your father or not. Bandersnatch is probably the most recent interactive film that has garnered a lot of attention, but is not the first movie of its kind. Interactive films are not a new concept, they have been made for decades now, gaining mainstream appeal in the 1980s. Video games around that time were also evolving and started to add more interactive elements to their stories. Games like Dragon's Lair, the X-File games, and Until Dawn all have interactive elements that have helped create a special niche within the video game genre. We can see the evolution of video games, but why are interactive elements good in movies? Interactive films are great because they allow the viewer to reach a certain level of self-actualization, a term defined by Rebecca M. Vasquez in her article The Rise of Interactive Movies. Vasquez goes into detail describing self-actualization as a person yearning for the fullest development of one's talents and capacities. Vasquez says that people appreciate art and create an emotional reaction to it. She mentions that people who create art themselves are able to reach a heightened awareness of being, giving them that sense of self-actualization. Traditional films have their audience play a passive role while the narrative is fed to them. Interactive films have their audience play an active role, allowing them to feel like they are part of the story. Vasquez goes on to say, when audiences participate in the creation of a film, a work of art, they are able to address the need for self-actualization, leaving them feeling more fulfilled. When people create art, they are left with the knowledge that they just created something that is unique to them, and no other person can recreate exactly what they have just made. This idea of self-actualization within interactive films create an emotional attachment for that person, and they will remember more parts of the story because they had to play an active role in the film. Another reason cinema needs interactive film is because of the concept Cinema 3.0, the interactive image. Author Kristen Daly wrote an article with the same name and talks about the evolution of film. To understand Cinema 3.0, we'll have to go over another term Daly talks about, Cinema 2.0, the time image. Daly states that Cinema 2.0 is the act of seeing and hearing replace the linking of images through motor actions. Pure description replaces referential anchoring. The idea of Cinema 2.0 is the original transition from still images to moving images, creating a timeline within the narrative, which is the basic film structure we know now. Daly goes on to say, a characteristic of Cinema 3.0 is that they put the viewer to work. Thus, the experience of the movie is more like a project and piecing together of disparate parts. The idea of Cinema 3.0 is to make the audience become active thinkers and have to actually invest their time to get a certain outcome. Back to Bandersnatch. Bandersnatch is not the first movie where it puts its audience to work, but it has inspired more interactive films since 2018. B&B received great reviews with a 74% fresh on Rotten Tomatoes and other great ratings. The film industry hasn't seen too many changes, but I think interactive films will push the industry to new limits. Do I think they will become a huge fan favorite genre? No. But it is important to see why people want and need interactive movies. The ideas of self-actualization and Cinema 3.0 push the audience to play a more active role when digesting a narrative. I honestly think streaming services could use interactive films to their advantage. They are perfect movies for a close group of people to watch and create their own unique memories. Personally, my friends and I tried to find every ending to B&B when it first came out, and I still remember certain scenes because of the way we selected a certain choice. It was a fun time, and hopefully many other people had that same experience. Just like how many movies are made straight to DVD or TV, I could see interactive movies becoming a staple for streaming services. Maybe a certain network creates a whole universe that is dedicated to that one streaming service. The future for interactive movies has a bright future, but only time will tell.